The story begins at a grand intergalactic academy orbiting a distant, bright star. This academy is a place where students from all over the galaxy come to learn and grow together. The hallways are filled with a diverse mix of alien species. Some have shimmering scales, others have soft fur, and a few even have glowing antennas. Each student moves in their own unique way. Some glide effortlessly above the ground, while others walk on multiple legs or float gently in the air. Above the main entrance, a glowing sign displays the Academy's motto, Unity in Diversity. A gentle narration sets the scene. It explains that Earth is known throughout the galaxy as a Deathworld. This means it is a planet with harsh conditions, where life is a constant challenge. The inhabitants of Earth, humans, have adapted to these tough conditions. They are strong, resilient, and have a will to survive that is unmatched. Because of Earth's fierce reputation, very few aliens have ever met a human in person. Today, that is about to change. A sleek spacecraft docks at the Academy's port, and as the doors slide open, a young human named Alex steps out. He has a friendly smile and eyes filled with curiosity. Alex looks around, taking in the sights of his new school. His heart beats with a mix of excitement and nervousness. He knows he is the first of his kind to attend this academy. Whispers ripple through the crowd of alien students. They steal glances at Alex, their eyes wide with surprise and a hint of fear. "Is that a human?" one whispers. "I heard they can lift 10 times their own weight," says another. Stories about humans have travelled far and wide, painting them as almost mythical beings with incredible abilities. Alex takes a deep breath and steps forward, his footsteps echoing softly. He is eager to learn about other cultures and hopes to make new friends. He wonders what his classes will be like and whether the other students will accept him. Despite the uncertainty, he is determined to make the most of this opportunity. As Alex makes his way to his first class, the narration reflects on the journey ahead. The stage is set for an unexpected adventure where worlds will collide, and everyone at the Academy will soon discover that there is more to this Deathworlder than meets the eye. The following day, Alex wakes up early, filled with anticipation for his first full day at the Intergalactic Academy. He gets dressed in his athletic gear, which feels both familiar and comforting. As he makes his way through the winding corridors, he notices the curious glances from other students. Some offer tentative smiles, while others quickly look away when he catches their eye. Alex takes a deep breath, reminding himself that being the first human here is bound to attract attention. Entering the gymnasium, Alex is struck by its immense size. The ceiling seems to stretch endlessly upward, and strange equipment, unlike anything he's seen before, lines the walls. Alien students are scattered around, each engaged in their own warm-up routines. Some are gracefully floating a few feet above the ground, practicing levitation. Others are moving through low-gravity zones, their bodies twisting and turning in ways that seem almost impossible to Alex. At the center of the gym stands Professor Xal, the gym instructor. He is a tall figure with 4 arms and skin that shimmers like polished metal. His eyes, glowing softly, scan the room with an air of authority. As Alex steps further inside, Professor Xal's gaze locks onto him. Students gather around. Professor Xal calls out in a firm voice. The murmurs quiet down as everyone assembles in a semicircle. "We have a new student joining us today," he announces. "This is Alex Ryder, a human from the planet Earth." A hush falls over the group. Alex feels dozens of eyes studying him. He offers a friendly wave. "Hi everyone," he says, trying to sound confident. Professor Xal continues, "As you know, Earth is classified as a Deathworld, known for its harsh conditions and resilient inhabitants. I expect you all to make him feel welcome and to maintain the standards of this academy." The warm-up session begins. Professor Xal instructs the class to start with basic levitation exercises. Alex watches as his classmates lift effortlessly off the ground, hovering in place or gently gliding through the air. He tries to join in, but quickly realizes that levitation isn't something he can do. Feeling a bit awkward, he decides to do some light jogging and stretching instead. As he moves, Alex notices that the low gravity of the gym makes everything feel easier. He starts increasing his pace, running faster and jumping higher than he ever could on Earth. The exhilaration brings a smile to his face. Some of the alien students pause their own exercises to watch him. They whisper among themselves, their expressions ranging from astonishment to curiosity. One student nudges another. "Look at how high he can jump," she whispers. Another replies, "I didn't think humans were so dynamic." Professor Xal notices the distraction. "Mr. Ryder," he calls out sharply, "is there a reason you're not participating in the assigned exercises?" Alex stops and looks over. "I'm sorry, Professor. I'm not able to levitate, but I didn't want to be idle. I thought I'd do some exercises I'm familiar with." Professor Xal's eyes narrow slightly. "Very well," he says. "Perhaps you'd like to demonstrate a typical Earth warm-up for the class." Alex nods. "Sure, I'd be happy to." He steps forward and begins a series of exercises: jumping jacks, push-ups, and high knee runs. He moves with speed and precision, his movements sharp and controlled. The other students watch in fascination, some attempting to mimic his actions but finding it challenging. Zila, a slender alien with bioluminescent skin, turns to her friend. "He's so energetic," she remarks. "I've never seen exercises like that." Brack, a towering student from the Gorak species, chuckles appreciatively. "He moves swiftly for someone from a heavy-gravity world," he says. After a few minutes, Professor Xal raises a hand. "Thank you, Mr. Ryder. That will suffice." Alex returns to his place, a little out of breath, but pleased to have shared a piece of his culture. The class moves on to other activities, many of which are designed for abilities Alex doesn't possess, like telekinesis or shape-shifting. He does his best to keep up, adapting the exercises where he can. Despite the challenges, he maintains a positive attitude, determined to make the most of the experience. As the session comes to an end, Professor Xal gathers the students once more. "Good work today," he says. "Remember, excellence comes from dedication and understanding." His gaze briefly meets Alex's before he dismisses the class. Leaving the gym, Alex feels a mix of emotions. He's glad to have completed his first gym class, but wonders if he truly fit in. The reactions from his classmates were varied. Some seemed intrigued, others unsure. He hopes that as time goes on, he'll be able to bridge the gap between their differences. Walking back to his quarters, Alex decides to remain optimistic. After all, today was just the beginning, and he is determined to show everyone that, despite being from a Deathworld, he is just like them, a student eager to learn and connect. The following day in gym class, Alex feels more at ease. As he steps into the gymnasium, he notices the vibrant activities happening around him. Zila is gracefully moving through a series of motions, her bioluminescent skin glowing in patterns that mesmerize anyone who watches. Brack is lifting large metallic spheres with ease, his strength apparent with each movement. Professor Xal gathers the class and announces that they will focus on strength and agility exercises today. He divides the students into small groups, assigning them to different stations. Alex joins a group that is starting with a simple obstacle course designed to test coordination and balance. As the activity begins, Alex navigates the course with surprising ease. He leaps over hurdles, ducks under barriers, and balances on narrow beams without much effort. His years of physical activity on Earth have prepared him well for such challenges. His classmates watch in amazement as he moves swiftly through the course. One of the obstacles involves crossing a series of floating platforms that shift unpredictably. While some students struggle to maintain their footing, Alex adapts quickly. He anticipates the movements and adjusts his balance accordingly. Zila attempts the same but slips and nearly falls. Alex reaches out and steadies her. "Thank you," she says, her eyes wide with surprise. "How did you know it was going to tilt like that?" Alex smiles gently. "I just watched how it moved with the others and guessed. Back home, we're used to unstable ground in some places." She nods, intrigued. "Your reflexes are impressive." As the class continues, they move to a strength exercise. The equipment is designed to accommodate different species, adjusting resistance based on the user's abilities. When it's Alex's turn, the machine calibrates but seems to underestimate his strength. He begins the exercise, and the weights feel lighter than expected. Without thinking, he increases the difficulty setting. Professor Xell notices and raises an eyebrow. "Careful, Mr. Ryder. The equipment might not be suited to your unique physiology." Alex nods respectfully. "Understood, Professor." He proceeds, lifting the weights smoothly. Other students pause their own activities to watch. Whispers spread through the group. "Did you see that?" One student murmurs. "He increased the setting twice." "I didn't think humans were that strong," another replies. Brack approaches Alex after the exercise. "You have great strength for someone of your size," he says with a hint of admiration. "Thanks," Alex replies. "On Earth, we often have to be strong to handle our environment." Throughout the class, these moments continue. During a speed drill, Alex's quick reactions place him at the front of the group. In flexibility exercises, he demonstrates a surprising range of motion. Each time, his classmates react with a mix of astonishment and curiosity. However, not all reactions are positive. A few students seem uneasy. They gather together, casting sidelong glances at Alex. One student whispers, "He's outperforming everyone." It's unsettling. Another adds, "What if he loses control? Deathworlders are unpredictable." Alex senses some of this tension, but chooses to focus on the supportive interactions. After class, Zila and Brack walk with him. "You were amazing today," Zila says enthusiastically. "You make everything look easy." Alex chuckles. "Trust me, it's not easy. I'm just used to different kinds of challenges." Brack nods thoughtfully. "Perhaps we can learn from each other. Your methods are different but effective." As they talk, they share stories about their home planets. Alex describes the towering mountains and deep oceans of Earth, the changing seasons, and the diverse wildlife. Zila and Brack listen intently, fascinated by his descriptions. Meanwhile, Professor Xell watches them from a distance. He sees the budding friendships and the way Alex is starting to bridge the gap between cultures. A hint of a smile crosses his face, though he quickly composes himself. That evening, Alex reflects on the day. He acknowledges the challenges but feels encouraged by the connections he's making. The cultural differences are significant, but he realizes that by sharing their experiences, they can all gain a deeper understanding of one another. He resolves to keep approaching each day with an open mind and a positive attitude. After all, being different doesn't have to be a barrier. It can be an opportunity to learn and grow together. The following week, the gymnasium buzzes with anticipation. Rumors have spread that Professor Xell has prepared a special challenge for the class. The students gather, their eyes drawn to a massive structure that now dominates the center of the gym, a complex obstacle course unlike anything they've seen before. Professor Xell stands before them, his forearms clasped behind his back. His metallic skin glints under the bright lights. "Today," he announces, "we will be undertaking a new obstacle course designed to push your limits. It will test your strength, agility, and adaptability." Alex notices that Professor Xell's gaze lingers on him for a moment longer than usual. He senses that this challenge might be directed at him, perhaps as a way to test his abilities further. He straightens his posture, determined to face whatever comes his way. The obstacle course is divided into several sections. The first involves navigating through heavy gravity zones, where each step feels like lifting a mountain. The second requires crossing a series of moving platforms that shift unpredictably. The third is a coordination puzzle, where students must solve complex patterns to proceed. Zila whispers to Alex, "This looks intense. Are you ready?" Alex smiles reassuringly. "I've faced tough challenges before. Let's give it our best shot." Brack cracks his knuckles. "Finally, a real test of strength," he says with a competitive grin. The students line up, and one by one, they begin the course. Zila goes ahead, her graceful movements helping her navigate the shifting platforms, but she struggles in the heavy gravity zone, her delicate frame not built for such strain. Brack powers through the heavy gravity with ease, but hesitates at the coordination puzzles, scratching his head in confusion. When it's Alex's turn, he steps into the heavy gravity zone. Instantly, he feels the increased weight pressing down on him. Memories of intense training sessions on Earth flood back. He focuses his mind and pushes forward, each step deliberate and strong. His classmates watch in awe as he maintains a steady pace where others have faltered. Moving on to the shifting platforms, Alex assesses their patterns. He times his movements carefully, leaping from one platform to the next with agility honed from years of navigating Earth's rugged terrain. A few gasps rise from the spectators as he makes a particularly daring jump. Reaching the coordination puzzle, holographic symbols float before him in a complex array. Alex takes a deep breath, his eyes scanning for patterns. Drawing on his problem-solving skills, he quickly deciphers the sequence and inputs the correct responses. The path ahead opens, signaling his success. As he crosses the finish line, there's a moment of stunned silence. Then, a ripple of applause spreads through the crowd. Zila beams at him. "That was incredible, Alex." Brack claps him on the back. "Impressive work. You handled the heavy gravity like it was nothing." Professor Xal approaches, his expression unreadable. "Well done, Mr. Ryder," he says slowly. "You have demonstrated remarkable capability." "Thank you, Professor," Alex replies politely. Some of the other students gather around, curiosity overcoming any previous reservations. "How did you do it?" one asks. "What's it like living on a Deathworld?" Alex chuckles softly. "Challenging, but it teaches you to adapt quickly and keep pushing forward." A student in the back mutters, "He's making the rest of us look bad." Another replies, "Or maybe we can learn from him." Sensing the mixed feelings, Alex addresses the group. "I'd be happy to share some of my training techniques with anyone interested, and I'd love to learn more about your abilities too." This openness breaks the tension. Students nod and murmur in agreement. Zila suggests, "Maybe we can form a study group, combine our strengths." Brack grins. "Count me in." Over the next few days, the newfound collaboration begins to flourish. Alex shares his endurance exercises, while others teach him about levitation techniques and alien problem-solving methods. The gym becomes a place of mutual learning rather than competition. Professor Xal observes these developments with a thoughtful expression. One afternoon, he calls Alex aside. "I must admit, Mr. Ryder, I had my doubts about integrating a human into this academy." Alex meets his gaze steadily. "I understand, Professor. It's been an adjustment for all of us." "You have shown not only physical prowess, but also leadership and humility," Professor Xal continues. "These are qualities we value highly." "I'm just trying to do my best and be a part of the community," Alex replies. Professor Xal nods slowly. "Perhaps there is much we can learn from each other." As the days progressed, the barriers between Alex and his classmates continue to dissolve. The obstacle course challenge becomes a turning point, not just for Alex, but for the entire class. They begin to appreciate the unique contributions each individual brings, embracing the Academy's motto of unity in diversity more fully than ever before. One evening, as the sun sets over the Academy's horizon, Alex, Zila, and Brack sit together overlooking the stars. Zila's skin shimmers softly in the fading light. "You know what," she says thoughtfully. "When you first arrived, I wasn't sure what to expect." Alex smiles. "I wasn't sure either, but I'm glad we're here now." Brack nods in agreement. "We make a good team, different, but stronger together." Alex looks at his friends, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. Here's to new challenges and new friends. They raise their hands in a shared gesture of camaraderie, the glow of distant galaxies reflecting in their eyes. The challenge may have been intended to test Alex, but it ended up uniting them all in unexpected and meaningful ways. The day after the challenging obstacle course, the atmosphere in the gymnasium is electric. Word has spread about Alex's impressive performance, and curiosity about the human Deathworlder has reached new heights. Professor Excel, observing the heightened interest, decides to introduce a series of new exercises to further test the students' abilities. Today, Professor Excel announces, we will engage in activities that require not just physical strength, but also strategic thinking and adaptability. Let's see how you all perform under these new conditions. The first exercise involves navigating a simulated environment filled with unexpected obstacles and changing variables. The simulation projects holographic barriers, shifting terrain, and sudden environmental changes like gusts of wind or bursts of light. The objective is to reach the endpoint as efficiently as possible. Students begin the exercise one by one. Many struggle with the unpredictability, relying heavily on their species-specific abilities, which sometimes prove less effective in this simulated setting. When it's Alex's turn, he steps into the simulation with calm focus. As the simulation begins, Alex moves forward cautiously, his senses alert. A barrier appears suddenly, but he quickly sidesteps it. The ground beneath him shifts, but his balance remains steady. Gusts of wind attempt to push him off course, yet he lowers his center of gravity and presses on. Drawing on his experiences from Earth, where environments can be unpredictable and sometimes hostile, he adapts rapidly to each new challenge. Watching from the outside, the other students are captivated. Zila leans forward. "Look at how he anticipates the obstacles," she says softly. Brack nods appreciatively. He's reading the simulation like it's second nature. Professor Excel observes intently, a subtle shift in his expression indicating newfound respect. Alex completes the simulation in record time, emerging with a modest smile. "Well done, Mr. Ryder," Professor Excel acknowledges. "Your adaptability is commendable." "Thank you, Professor," Alex replies. "On Earth, we're used to environments that can change quickly. It teaches us to stay alert and adjust as needed." The next exercise is a team challenge. Students are grouped into teams of 4 and must work together to solve a complex physical puzzle. Alex is teamed up with Zila Brack and another student named Lyra, who has been skeptical of Alex since his arrival. The puzzle involves assembling a series of floating components to create a bridge across a simulated chasm. The components react differently depending on how they're handled. Some are weight-sensitive, others respond to touch or sound. As the team begins, Lyra hesitates to take instructions from Alex. "Maybe we should do it this way," she suggests, pointing in a different direction. Alex listens patiently. "That's a good idea, but if we position this component here, it will stabilize the others. Let's combine our approaches." Zila adds, "I can use my light patterns to activate the sound-responsive components." Brack offers his strength to move the heavier pieces. Working together, they start making progress. Lyra notices that Alex values everyone's input, and her reservations begin to fade. Midway through the challenge, an unexpected twist occurs. The simulation introduces a countdown timer, and the components start shifting positions on their own. Panic flickers across Lyra's face. "Stay calm," Alex says firmly. "We can do this. Zila, keep activating the sound components. Brack, hold the weight-sensitive ones steady. Lyra, help me with the sequencing." They coordinate their efforts seamlessly. With seconds to spare, they complete the bridge and cross to the other side. The simulation ends, and their success is displayed for the class to see. A ripple of applause spreads through the gymnasium. Lyra turns to Alex, a newfound respect in her eyes. "I misjudged you," she admits. "You're a good leader." Alex smiles warmly. "We're all learning together. I'm glad we could make it work." Professor Xal approaches the team. "Excellent collaboration," he praises. "You exemplified how combining different strengths leads to success." The series of exercises continue, and each time, Alex not only excels but also helps his classmates improve. His natural leadership and willingness to share knowledge begin to change the perceptions of those who were initially wary of him. During a break, a group of students gathers around Alex. One asks, "Can you show us some of your Earth training methods?" "Of course," Alex replies enthusiastically. He demonstrates exercises that build endurance and resilience, explaining how they can adapt them to suit their own abilities. As the class progresses, Alex's influence becomes more apparent. The students start to integrate his techniques into their routines, finding that they enhance their own skills. The initial shock of having a Deathworlder among them fades, replaced by appreciation and camaraderie. Even Professor Xal seems to have a change of heart. He begins to incorporate some of Alex's suggestions into the curriculum, acknowledging the value they bring. One afternoon, as the class wraps up, Professor Xal addresses the students. "Today, we've seen how embracing different perspectives strengthens us all. Alex's contributions have enriched our learning experience. Let us continue to learn from one another." The students nod in agreement. Lyra steps forward. "I think we can all say that having Alex here has been a positive influence." Zila and Brack grin. "Definitely," they echo. Alex feels a surge of gratitude. "Thank you, everyone. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here and to learn from all of you as well." The twist has unfolded. Not only has Alex excelled in the challenges set before him, but he has also helped his classmates reach new heights. The barriers of misunderstanding and apprehension have been broken down, replaced by mutual respect and friendship. As they leave the gym, the students chat excitedly about future activities, eager to continue growing together. Alex walks alongside them, no longer feeling like an outsider. He has found his place among them, and together they are stronger than ever. In the days following Alex's remarkable performance, a subtle shift begins to occur within the academy. While many students have grown to admire Alex's abilities and appreciate his willingness to share, others start to feel uneasy. Whispers circulate in the hallways and common areas, hinting at underlying fears and misconceptions. One afternoon, Alex walks into the cafeteria, tray in hand, scanning the room for a place to sit. He notices that some tables fall silent as he approaches, and students avoid making eye contact. When he sits down at an empty table, nearby groups slowly get up and move elsewhere. The once welcoming atmosphere now feels cold and distant. Confused and hurt, Alex tries to understand what's happening. He recalls the friendly interactions he's had and wonders what could have changed. Later, in class, he notices that some of his classmates no longer seek his input during group activities. Lyra, who had previously acknowledged his leadership, now seems hesitant to engage with him. Seeking answers, Alex approaches Zila and Brack after class. "Have you noticed anything strange lately?" he asks. "It feels like some people are avoiding me." Zila exchanges a worried glance with Brack. "There have been some rumors," she admits softly. "What kind of rumors?" Alex inquires, concern evident in his voice. Brack sighs. Some students are saying that humans are too powerful, that you might be a threat. They're worried that your abilities give you an unfair advantage. Alex is taken aback. But I've only ever tried to help. I thought we were all learning from each other. Zila places a comforting hand on his shoulder. We know that, Alex. But sometimes fear clouds people's judgment. They might be intimidated by what they don't understand. Determined to address the issue, Alex decides to speak with Professor Xtal. He finds him in his office, surrounded by holographic displays of training programs. "Professor, may I speak with you?" Alex asks politely. Professor Xtal looks up. "Of course, Mr. Ryder. What troubles you?" Alex takes a deep breath. "I've noticed that some of my classmates are distant lately. I've heard there are concerns about me being a threat. I want to understand why this is happening." The professor nods thoughtfully. "I have heard some of these whispers. Change can be unsettling for some, and your presence has challenged their perceptions. I never intended to make anyone uncomfortable," Alex says earnestly. "I just wanted to be part of the community." "Perhaps it would help if we addressed these concerns openly," Professor Xtal suggests. "Communication is key to overcoming misunderstandings." Feeling somewhat reassured, Alex agrees. However, over the next few days, the isolation intensifies. He overhears snippets of conversations. "I heard that on Earth, they have creatures that can withstand extreme conditions," one student whispers. "Who knows what he's truly capable of?" another replies. These words weigh heavily on Alex. He begins to withdraw, spending more time alone. His enthusiasm in classes wanes, and his contributions become less frequent. The joy he once felt at the academy is overshadowed by a sense of loneliness. One evening, while sitting alone in a quiet corner of the academy's garden, Alex gazes up at the stars. He wonders if coming here was a mistake. The vastness of space feels more isolating than ever. Unbeknownst to him, Zila and Brack have noticed his withdrawal. Concerned, they decide to take action. They reach out to other students, hoping to dispel the misconceptions. "We need to talk about this," Zila urges a group of classmates. "Alex is one of us. He's proven that time and again." Lyra steps forward hesitantly. "I was afraid," she admits, "but maybe I didn't give him a fair chance." Brack nods. "He's only ever shown kindness and a willingness to help. We shouldn't let fear divide us." Their efforts begin to sow seeds of doubt about the rumors. Some students start to question their assumptions, realizing that their fears may have been unfounded. Meanwhile, Alex continues to grapple with his feelings of isolation. He contemplates speaking up, but worries it might make things worse. The misunderstanding weighs heavily on him, leaving him unsure of his place at the academy. The stage is set for a turning point, as both Alex and his classmates stand at a crossroads. Will they allow misunderstanding to create an insurmountable divide, or will they find a way to reconnect and move forward together? The next morning, Alex wakes up determined to find a way to mend the growing divide. He decides that the best approach is to address the misunderstandings openly. Gathering his courage, he approaches Professor Xtal before class. "Professor," Alex begins, "I appreciate your suggestion about open communication. I'd like to organize a gathering where we can all share more about our cultures and abilities. Maybe if we understand each other better, the fears will fade." Professor Xtal considers this and nods. "An intercultural exchange session could be beneficial. I will support your initiative." With the professor's backing, Alex spreads the word about the gathering. Zila and Brack enthusiastically help, inviting students from various classes. They plan activities where everyone can showcase their unique talents and share stories from their home worlds. On the day of the event, the Academy's central hall is transformed into a vibrant space filled with displays, food, and interactive stations. Students arrive, some curious, others still a bit hesitant. The atmosphere is tentative but hopeful. Alex begins by standing on a small platform. "Thank you all for coming," he says warmly. "I know there have been some misunderstandings and concerns. I believe that by sharing our experiences, we can learn from each other and build stronger friendships." He steps down, and the activities commence. Zila starts by demonstrating the bioluminescent communication methods of her species. The room dims as she creates intricate light patterns, explaining how they convey emotions and stories. The audience watches in awe, applauding her beautiful display. Next, Brack showcases a traditional strength game from his planet, inviting others to participate. Laughter fills the room as students attempt the challenges, cheering each other on regardless of the outcomes. When it's Alex's turn, he shares videos and images of Earth, highlighting its diverse environments, from lush forests to bustling cities. He demonstrates some Earth games and exercises, inviting everyone to join in simple team activities that emphasize cooperation and fun. As the evening progresses, barriers begin to dissolve. Students mingle freely, asking questions and expressing genuine interest in one another's cultures. Leah approaches Alex with a plate of exotic food. "Care to try a delicacy from my home planet?" she offers with a smile. Alex accepts gratefully. "Thank you, Lyra. It looks intriguing." She pauses before speaking again. "I wanted to apologize for keeping my distance. I let unfounded fears get the better of me." Alex shakes his head gently. "It's okay. I'm glad we're talking now." They spend the next few minutes sharing stories, finding common ground in unexpected places. Nearby, groups of students are engaged in animated conversations, their voices blending into a harmonious buzz. Professor Xal observes the scene from a distance, a subtle smile forming on his face. He approaches Alex later in the evening. "You have done well, Mr. Ryder," he acknowledges. "This gathering has brought the students closer together." "It wouldn't have been possible without everyone's willingness to participate," Alex replies humbly. "Leadership isn't just about individual actions, but inspiring others to come together," Professor Xal remarks. "You have shown true leadership." As the event winds down, Zila gathers everyone for a final activity. "Let's create a shared memory," she suggests. Using her light abilities, she projects a large, shimmering image above the crowd, a collage of symbols representing each culture present. The students stand together, gazing up at the display. There's a sense of unity that wasn't there before, a collective understanding that they are all part of something greater. Brack raises his hand. "To new friendships and shared journeys," he exclaims. "To unity in diversity," Alex adds, echoing the Academy's motto. The hall resonates with cheers and applause. In that moment, the isolation and misunderstandings of the past seem like distant memories. Over the following days, the positive effects of the gathering become evident. Collaboration increases in classes, and students are more open and supportive of one another. Alex feels a renewed sense of belonging, his earlier doubts replaced with optimism. One afternoon, as he walks through the gardens, he meets Leah sitting by a fountain. "Hello, Alex," she greets him warmly. "I was just thinking about how much things have changed." He nods. "It's amazing what a little understanding can do." She smiles thoughtfully. "I was wondering if you'd like to join our study group. We could use your perspective." "I'd like that very much," Alex replies. As they walk together, they discuss ideas for future projects and ways to continue building bridges between all students at the Academy. The effort to understand and appreciate each other's differences has not only resolved the misunderstandings, but has also strengthened the community. Alex and his classmates have learned that by embracing diversity, they enrich their own experiences and create a more harmonious environment. The Academy thrives as a place where unity is more than just a motto. It's a lived reality, thanks in large part to the courage and initiative of one determined human from a Deathworld. In the weeks following the intercultural gathering, harmony seems to have settled over the academy. Students from various backgrounds collaborate more than ever, and Alex feels a deep sense of belonging. However, not everyone is comfortable with these changes. A small group of students, led by a rigid and traditionalist alien named Corinne, feels that their cultural identity is being overshadowed. One afternoon, as Alex and his friends are leaving the gymnasium, Corinne confronts them. He is from the Dracon species, known for their imposing stature and adherence to tradition. His scales shimmer with a deep blue hue, indicating his agitation. "Alex," Corinne calls out sharply, "I need to speak with you." Alex turns to face him, noticing the tension in his voice. "Sure, Corinne. What's on your mind?" Corinne's eyes narrow. "Ever since you arrived, things have changed too much. Our traditions are being diluted. I believe it's because of you." Zila steps forward defensively. "That's not fair, Corinne. Alex has only tried to share and learn like the rest of us." He dismisses her with a wave. "Stay out of this, Zila. This is between me and the Deathworlder." Brack places a calming hand on Zila's shoulder. "Let's hear what he has to say." Corinne takes a deep breath. "I challenge you, Alex, to a traditional Dracon duel in the arena. If you win, we continue with these changes. If I win, we restore things to how they were before you came." A hush falls over the group. Alex frowns thoughtfully. "Corinne, I don't think fighting will solve anything. Can't we discuss this instead?" "Are you afraid?" Corinne taunts. "Or do you admit that you're the cause of the problem?" Alex senses the crowd's eyes on him. He realizes that refusing might worsen the divide. "I accept your challenge, but on one condition." "Name it," Corinne replies tersely. "If I win, not only do we continue as we are, but you join us in our efforts to build bridges between all cultures here." Corinne hesitates, but then nods. "Agreed. Unity through adversity." The day of the duel arrives. The arena is filled with students, the air thick with anticipation. The duel is not a fight to harm, but a test of skills, strength, strategy, and endurance, reflecting the Dracon traditions. Alex and Corinne stand opposite each other, saluting respectfully before beginning. The first challenge is a test of strength, lifting increasingly heavy objects. Corinne lifts with ease, his muscles built for such tasks. Alex, drawing on his Earth's gravity-honed strength, manages to keep pace, surprising many in the audience. The second challenge involves strategy, a complex game simulating battlefield tactics. Corinne makes aggressive moves, aiming for a quick victory. Alex opts for a defensive strategy, anticipating Corinne's attacks and countering effectively. The game ends in a stalemate, showcasing both their strategic minds. As they move to the final challenge, a sudden alarm blares throughout the arena. The lights flicker, and the ground trembles slightly. Professor Xell rushes onto the field. "Attention everyone," he announces urgently. "There's been a malfunction in the energy core beneath the arena. We need to evacuate immediately." Panic ensues as students scramble toward the exits. A loud rumble echoes, and part of the arena structure collapses, blocking the main exit. Alex looks around and notices that some younger students are trapped on the other side. Without hesitation, he calls out, "Corinne, we need to help them." Corinne hesitates, conflict evident on his face. But the duel? That doesn't matter now. Alex shouts, "Lives are at stake." Realizing the gravity of the situation, Corinne nods. Together, they rush toward the trapped students. Using their combined strength, they lift debris and create a path to safety. "Follow us," Alex urges the frightened students. As they guide the last of them out, another tremor shakes the arena. A heavy beam breaks loose, falling toward them. Corin pushes Alex and a student out of the way just in time, but his leg gets caught under the debris. "Corin," Alex exclaims, rushing back to help. "Leave me," Corin groans. "You need to get out." "I'm not leaving you behind," Alex insists. With immense effort, he lifts the beam enough for Corin to free himself. Leaning on each other, they make their way out just as emergency crews arrive to stabilize the situation. Outside, the crowd watches anxiously. A cheer erupts as Alex and Corin emerge. Medics attend to them immediately. Later, in the medical bay, Corin looks over at Alex. "You saved my life," he says quietly. Alex smiles wearily. "We saved each other. That's what we're supposed to do." Corin sighs. "I was so blinded by my fears of change that I forgot what's truly important." "It's okay," Alex replies. "Sometimes it takes a crisis to see things clearly." Professor Xell enters the room, relief evident on his face. "I'm glad you're both safe. Your actions today exemplify the highest ideals of this academy." Corin meets Alex's gaze. "I owe you an apology, and I intend to honor our agreement. I will join you in building bridges among us." Alex extends his hand. "I'd like that." They shake hands, sealing a new understanding. News of their heroism spreads throughout the academy, inspiring others. The confrontation that once threatened to divide them has instead united them more strongly than ever. In the following days, repair efforts bring students together. Corin takes an active role, encouraging others to collaborate regardless of their backgrounds. The academy becomes a hive of cooperative activity, the incident serving as a catalyst for deeper unity. One evening, as the sun sets, Alex, Zila, Brack, and Corin gather at their favorite spot overlooking the starlit sky. "It's remarkable how far we've come," Zila remarks softly. Brack chuckles. "Who would have thought a Deathworlder would bring us all together?" Corin smiles. "I'm grateful for the lessons learned. Change isn't something to fear when it leads to growth." Alex nods. "We've all taught each other so much. This place truly embodies unity in diversity." Professor Xell joins them unexpectedly. "I wanted to commend you all," he says. "Your experiences have enriched not only your lives but the entire academy." They share a moment of reflection, the stars above mirroring the infinite possibilities that lie ahead. The bonds they've forged are strong, built through challenges and shared victories. The story concludes with a sense of hope and camaraderie. Alex's journey from being the outsider to becoming an integral part of the academy illustrates the power of resilience, understanding, and unity. The Deathworlder who once shocked everyone has helped them discover that together they can overcome any adversity.